Yo guys, hello and welcome back to episode 7 of my Red Bull Academy Career Mode here on F126. Now if you did miss the last episode out in Miami, then go and check that out. It wasn't a great weekend, all things considered, crashing the sprint race with Franco Colapinto, and yeah, no points in the main race, so P7 in the drivers, P5 in the constructors. Still a good season so far, and we are expecting more rain this weekend. A little bit at the end of the sprint, a little bit at the start of the race. So yeah, could throw up some interesting scenes here in Canada. Another sprint weekend, so we're going to get straight in to our first run in SQ1. And yeah, putting a banker on the table. Unfortunately, we do invalidate our first lap here, so we're only going to get one more run here in SQ1 on the same tyres. We back off, we cool them down, and yeah, luckily we have to turn out a little bit into the final chicane, so you do not invalidate again, but we're going to get a nearly 2/10 increase on our banker time even though it's invalidated, and we do get through in P14, Arvid Lindblad in P10. So yeah, good start to the weekend. A little bit cloudier in SQ2, and we're going to come across the line on our first banker run of this session, and it's going to be P9, so a much better opening to this second sprint qualifying session. Purple in the first sector, green in the middle sector of our last run in the session, and we're going to cross the line here. Are we going to make it in to SQ3? By the looks of it, yes we are. P4, really good lap there. And the rain did start to come down towards the end of that session. So yeah, that is going to be it. Lindblad, Leclerc and Hamilton both out in SQ2. And SQ3 comes around. It is intermediate conditions here. Having to be very careful around this track. I haven't done any wet running around this track yet this year. So first lap on the board is only P9, and the second lap is not looking much better until we throw it into the final chicane, and we have a good little increase on the delta, nearly 3.5 tenths, and that is going to be still P9. So good qualifying session, all things considered, out qualifying former Red Bull man Pierre Gasly, and just behind current Red Bull man Isaac Hadjar. So yeah, let's see what we can do in the sprint race.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri and Albon, Russell, Hadjar, Richards and Pierre Gasly, Lindblad, Leclerc and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Bottas, Behrman, Bortoletto, Sergio Perez and Nico Hülkenberg, Alonso, Colapinto, Stroll and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
So in the top 10 here in Canada for the sprint race, it is saying we're going to get a little bit of rain towards the end of the sprint here. We're going to go on the hard compound tyres and make sure we have the right tyre wear towards the end, because the mediums will not last. And we had 5 red lights, and away we go here in Canada. Straight up the inside of Isaac Hadjar, a little bit aggressive into turn 1. We have to back out from Albon as we go over the curb. George Russell manages to hold position ahead of us. Isaac Hadjar looking very interested behind, but we are not going to let him through. We want his seat next season, remember. So yeah, hopefully we can hold him behind for as long as possible. Little lock up from Albon at the end of the first sector there. And yeah, hopefully we can keep up with these guys ahead and hopefully make up a few positions. Currently getting 1 point in the sprint race if it ends like this, as it's side by side a little bit further up the road. And we're going to get a really good run out of that chicane actually. And George Russell, looking at the back of Verstappen, runs into the back of the Red Bull man there. As we avoid it, we go to the outside and hold the position around the outside of Russell. And yeah, really poor section there for him. He's on the battery, we're on the battery. It's too wide up ahead. It's too wide with myself and Russell. We're going to hold it to the outside of the Mercedes man into the final chicane. Track limits warning there, but we will take that. And yeah, P7, not a bad start to this race at all, as Verstappen and Albon still side by side into turn 1. Verstappen looks like to have got that position, but Albon manages to get him back, and then Verstappen gets him back towards the final chicane, still side by side. So we, Lyco, expecting a poor run from them two. We get a decent run through the final chicane, Albon does not, so we're going to stick the battery on. He is also burning, trying to go past Verstappen. Verstappen blocks him, so that leaves us room up the inside, and we get past the Williams man there. Nice stuff again from us. Now can we chase down Max ahead, going on to the start of lap 5. Little group of cars up ahead, and yeah, we're just taking a step back and, you know, having a little look around the outside of Verstappen there, a little bit of a squirm. And yeah, we decide to let him go as we make a tiny bit of contact with his left rear. And yeah, still in a good position this race. Let's just see if we can pick up some of the potential carnage that could happen in front, as now Piastri is the one in front of us as we get our second track limits warning. So I have to be really careful in this race already. And we're going to look down the inside of the McLaren man, having to be careful on the brakes as to not run into the back of Carlos there. We managed to hold it around the outside of him actually there in the next corner, and we managed to get the position. Fortunately, both of them on medium tyres, so their tyres should not be good at all towards the end, and we are yet again behind our main rival Max Verstappen, also on the hard compound tyres. So yeah, towards the end of lap 10 now, we are looking to get past Max. Our pace is actually really good in this race. His is good. We're both catching up to Antonelli, but yeah, ours is looking better, and he gets a poor exit out of the final chicane as we set him up. And we're going to go down the outside, taking the race in line into turn 1, and that is P3. So in the podium position here in Canada, really good stuff from ourselves. But we go over the next corner and it's a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and all of our hard work there has been undone. Luckily, it's about 3 seconds to Piastri behind, so we should only be getting P4 in this race, which is still an amazing result. But coming through the final chicane on the final lap, Lando Norris wins the Canadian sprint race, not managing to get past Antonelli. Verstappen has a look into the final chicane, but nothing doing there, and we are going to cross the line and get P4 as Piastri was too far behind. But yeah, really good start to the weekend there. 5 championship points for us. Arvid Lindblad, unfortunately, we're nothing, but yeah, really good. Now, I did have a few comments on the TikTok the other day. If you're not following the TikTok or the Instagram, go and check that out. But yeah, people saying I'm not doing it on 110% AI. I can tell you for a fact I'm doing it. No assists, 110% AI, simulation damage, all that good stuff. So yeah, just in case anybody is wondering. But yeah, let's get into qualifying here for the main race here in Canada. Throwing it over the final chicane on our first run in Q1. We're only going for a lap here, and it's P12 currently. We weren't only planning on going for 1, but that wasn't good enough. So we have to go for another on the same set of tyres. Unfortunately, we get through in P15. A little bit risky from us there, but you know, we have had good pace all weekend, so we thought we would try it. But Q2 now, bank a lap. We're going to throw it over the final chicane. Is used tyres again, so that is going to be P14 for us. Now, we did move to a brand new set of soft tyres for this next run, and we are a lot faster on the delta, nearly 3/4 of a second up on our time there. And that is P8 for us. So we are going to be in Q3 here. Just showing our pace this weekend has been really good. Throwing it into that final chicane though, we only went for one lap in this session due to the lack of tyres, and we make contact with the Wall of Champions. And that is not an ideal end to our qualifying, but still P10. So cannot complain there.
Starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen starts on pole and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Charles Leclerc and Hadjar, Sainz, Lindblad, Richards and Sergio Perez, Antonelli, Gasly, Nico Hülkenberg and Bortoleto, Ocon, Alonso, Oscar Piastri and Alex Albon, Behrman, Stroll, Bottas and Franco Colapinto rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Alongside me here in the commentary box today, former...
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So we actually have rain here at the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. Starting in the top 10, so good qualifying from ourselves. And yeah, let's get in to the race. 5 red lights from P9. Our teammate Arvid Lindblad ahead of us. But we get a really good start off the line. We managed to get past our teammates straight away. Down the inside of Sainz and Isaac Hadjar at the start of this race. So amazing stuff. Can we hold it around the outside of the Red Bull man? Yes, we can. And we get the most important position of this race so far. P6 in the race. Leclerc looking a bit slidey through the first chicane. Obviously, everyone still checking out these intermediate conditions for themselves. And yeah, we're just going to hold position right now. Have a little look around the outside of Leclerc, but nothing doing there. And yeah, we need to settle into this race. Get the conditions down. And yeah, hopefully keep Hadjar behind us for as long as possible. And you never know, make up a few positions in this race. Let's have a little look. Halfway through lap 2 now, and Lance Stroll has retired from the Canadian Grand Prix. Virtual safety car is deployed. Yeah, as you can see on screen, Lance Stroll just mechanical engine failure, whatever you want to call it, peels off in the first sector. And yeah, quite hard to overtake in these intermediate conditions, as you guys may know. But yeah, we're still getting used to the conditions around here, and a lap later, the virtual safety car is ending on lap 3. So yeah, just trying to still get used to the conditions. We have dumped a little bit of fuel out, so lifting and coasting when necessary. And towards the end of lap 6 now, conditions have got a lot better in this Grand Prix, and we're actually going to send it down the inside of Charles Leclerc from an absolute mile away in this Grand Prix, and we get the move done. And yeah, that was from an absolute mile away. I'm very shocked that I actually got that done, but not going to complain. Start at lap 8 now. The track is really improving. We get the fastest lap, and a lap later we are going to peel into the pit lane in P6 in this Grand Prix, hoping for a good stop here as everyone is moving on to the slick tyres. Everyone looks to be going onto the hard compound tyre. We are going to go onto the mediums as the straight line mode and overtake mode is enabled. So perfect timing on the pits there. Good stop as well from the boys, 2.4 seconds. We actually managed to lose a position in the pit lane, so coming out in P7. But then, as you can see on the minimap, someone has stayed out. So we will get that position back. George Russell, though, looking very vulnerable on them hard tyres as we get a track limits warning, not ideal there. But yeah, these guys ahead on the hard tyres are not heating up anywhere near as quick as our medium. So we're going to send out the inside of Russell. Little bit of contact there. But with the conditions, it's not the end of the world. Track is still a little bit slippy, but it is definitely time for slicks. And at the end of lap 10, we're actually on the back of Lando Norris here, who won the sprint race earlier in the weekend. We're going to get the boost on. We're going to go to the outside, just enough room there, and we're going to be much later on the brakes. And yeah, we're going to get into P5, which is going to turn to P4 because it was Gabriel Bortoleto that did not pit there as we set the fastest lap of the race. And yeah, P3 actually, because Antonelli did not pit either. And we get out just ahead of him, a little bit of a slide into turn 2, which kind of blocked him off in the pit lane, which was not a bad thing for us in the end. Did not mean to do that at the time, but end of lap 12 and Antonelli is on fire. He's going to overtake us into the final corner. We burnt all our battery and we decided to just let him go in this race. So back down to P4. Still an amazing position. Verstappen gets the fastest lap, Hamilton gets the fastest lap, Antonelli gets the fastest lap, but we do not manage to get the fastest lap, unfortunately. And yeah, towards the end of lap 14 now, George Russell, the same as Antonelli, looking much faster in these conditions. So we are just going to let him free for now. As Verstappen gets the fast lap of the race, the track is improving lap on lap on lap. And yeah, again towards the end of lap 16, Isaac Hadjar is actually on our rear now. We have no battery and he sends it down the inside of the hairpin in the final sector. We get decent traction, but so does the Red Bull man. We're burning our battery, haven't got much left. We do manage to get in front of him again, but the overspeed from the Red Bull, he goes down the outside, slight bit of contact on the straight there. So apologies to Isaac for that, but yeah, we try and send it into the final chicane and nothing to do in there, unfortunately. So the Red Bull man has got the position in this race. End of lap 19 though, the left rear is absolutely screaming. These mediums are coming towards the end. Charles Leclerc's looking very interested. We decide to let him go into the final corner because we are going to box and we want that overtake mode for the outlap. So yeah, I'm hoping for a good stop again from the boys here. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get a nice little undercut on the others around us as we do have fresh tyres, and they will be stretching these hard tyres for a little bit longer. They will definitely have to stop again in this race. But yeah, we're going to come out the pit lane, initially P16, and going into turn 1, we actually come out side by side with our teammates. So really good there that we actually managed to keep the position and not have to overtake him on track. And yeah, let's make the most of these hard compound tyres and get a bit of an undercut on the guys around us. Next up is Alex Albon. Into the hairpin, we send it down the inside. Nice clean overtake there as we go purple in the middle sector. Esteban Ocon, Oscar Piastri ahead of us. We're going to pick up Esteban Ocon straight away. Now we're thinking, okay, let's let Piastri go into the final corner, get the overtake, but nah. We do not want to be held behind the McLaren on them hard tyres for much longer. And yeah, we get the move done around the outside into the final chicane. Really good move there as we get the fastest lap of the race out of the pit lane, which is very interesting. But just speeding it up a little bit now through sector 1. And as you can see, our tyres are so much better. We're just gaining and gaining and gaining. We outbraked Bortoleto even though he's miles ahead of us, and we managed to hold it around the outside in the horrible little traction zone there at the start of sector 2. And yeah, great move there. Up into P11 purple in the first sector as we get a yellow flag.
Caution.
And that's Charles Leclerc out of the session with an engine failure. And that is absolutely crazy. That means an extra position for us. Still yellow flag, we wait for it to go green. We get on the boost and we overtake Pierre straight away. So wasting no time there. And yeah, going on to the start of lap 22, Sergio Perez is there. Obviously not for long as we send it up the inside, back up into P8 in this Grand Prix. A few laps later now, and we've managed to close that 7-second gap to Carlos Sainz as a few others pit. Going to go down the inside into turn 1 at the start of lap 25 and get the position. P5 currently on track. But that does not last for long because at the end of lap 25, a few others have boxed in this race, which is going to promote us up into P2 behind Max Verstappen, who, fortunately for him, managed to pit and get out ahead of us. But everyone else is going to be on a softer compound of tyre, the mediums, and towards the end of this race, it's going to be very hard to keep some of them guys behind. As you can see, Hamilton goes to the outside of the hairpin at the end of lap 27. Managed to do a switch back on us as we try and defend. We burn the battery to try and keep him behind, but he's going to go to the outside, and there's no point in holding him up anymore. We're just going to be ruining our own race time as we get another track limits warning, unfortunately. So we have to be very careful for the remainder of this race. George Russell and Antonelli behind on the fresher tyres, obviously, and they are going to be a massive handful, especially Antonelli, as he is the fastest man on track at the moment. He's going to go down the inside of lap 29 into turn 1. We're going to hold it around the outside that turns into the inside this next corner. So for now, we managed to hold the position, and it was kind of the same up until the end of lap 33 as Anthony goes around the outside, almost Sato and Alonso, 2006 I think it was, but we managed to hold the inside from Antonelli. And lucky for us, him and George Russell were battling pretty much for the rest of the race, which gave us a little bit of breathing room. Tyres were starting to wear, but we managed to hold them off, going very careful into the final chicane as to not get a warning. But yeah, we're going to come across the line here in Canada for a podium for the Racing Bulls. Amazing result.
Yes, come on, we're on the podium. Good job this weekend. That's a great drive. Thank you.
So Kimi Antonelli getting driver of the day, but we picked up P4 in the sprint race and P3 in the main race. So 20 championship points for us. Major result for ourselves and the team and our future prospects in this career mode. Surely the Red Bull guys are going to want to hire us for next season if we keep on putting performances in like this. And yeah, unfortunately, Arvid Lindblad not getting any points here, which promotes us into P6 in the Drivers' Championship. Not that far off the lead still. And yeah, P5 in the Constructors. In a little bit of no man's land between McLaren and Williams here, but I'm not going to complain at all. 2 track limits warnings and 2 retirements. And yeah, that is an amazing end to the Canadian Grand Prix. And that is going to be it from me, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me here in Canada. Monaco next time out, so hopefully we can continue our good form there. And yeah, if you're enjoying this content, leave a like, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 subs before the end of the year, so if you could help me out with that, that would be an absolute dream. And yeah, have a good evening, everyone, and cheers.